The Republicans are surging and the Democrats are freaking out as blue states are now officially turning red. We're going to see the latest blitzkrieg of polls that show the GOP stomping the Democrats. We're going to see how that's changing the political map as we speak. And make sure to stick with me at the very end of this video when we'll find out precisely what kind of turnout pollsters are expecting on Election Day. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. It's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot professor, here to help you think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe. But you know what I also want you to do? I want you to click that link below and show some love to Mike Lindell. Mike is offering us his lowest prices ever on all of his products if you use my code Turley. Now, you can get the classic MyPillow, which is normally $69.98, for only $19.98, and that applies to over 200 products in their catalog if you use that code Turley. So don't wait. Click on that link below. Let's support our fellow Patriot Mike Lindell, and let's get his best savings ever. All right, let's dive right in here, gang. Republicans are surging. They are absolutely surging big time. This is exactly what we predicted would happen starting around mid to late September. The cyclical Republican lull, where the response bias in polling always overwhelmingly favors the Democrats in the late summer months, since Republicans actually have families and lives, and we want to live our lives. You know, we don't want to be filling out polling questions and the like. It happens every election cycle, this response bias. Well, it appears to be over. Republican voters and independents appear to be very much engaged now in the upcoming midterms, and the polls are showing it. Look at this from ABC News, Washington Post. In the congressional districts rated by 538 as the most competitive districts in the nation, those districts that are up for grabs, registered voters favor the Republican candidate by over 20 points, 55 to 34%. I mean, you don't get much more lopsided than that. Among likely voters, the nationwide average is Republicans up 5, according to the same poll, 51 to 46. By comparison, this time in the year 2018, the last midterms, the Democrats had a 6-point lead over the Republicans. So this is a massive swing to the right. But when you begin breaking these polls down to where they really count, namely these highly competitive or the most competitive districts, generically Republicans are standing on a 21-point lead. That's insane. That's astonishing. Kind of strange the legacy media is a little quiet on that one, isn't it? But it gets better. According to the same poll, 84% of voters say that the economy is their number one issue in their vote for Congress. 76% say the same about inflation. And in light of that, these numbers are panicking the Democrats. Look at this. The same poll shows that voters favor the Republicans on the economy by 17 points, 54 to 37. In terms of inflation, the Republicans win by nearly 20 points, 54 to 36. 84% of the voting population is going to be voting in a way that favors the GOP by 20 points. That's why I think we're seeing the same numbers in the highly competitive congressional districts. And moreover, in terms of dealing with crime, violent crime, the GOP blows away the Democrats by 22 points, 56 to 34. So the Democrats have lost the inflation and recession arguments. They're full court press in the lamestream media to try to redefine recession, try to convince voters that inflation is actually good for you, has failed. And it's failed miserably. They've lost the defund the police fiasco. And at least when it comes to the most competitive districts, they don't seem to have just lost. It looks like the Democrats and the lamestream media have imploded. They're not even in the game. They're down by over 20 points. Now, this poll is being corroborated by the latest McLaughlin poll that has the GOP up 4 among voters on the generic ballot nationally. And that significantly contrasts with what McLaughlin had a few months back during that polling lull for Republicans we talked about. That poll had the Republicans and Democrats dead even on the generic ballot. So we're seeing a 4-point swing in the span of these last 4 weeks or so. So whether we're dealing with the ABC and Washington Post poll or the McLaughlin poll, in fact, all of the latest polls that have come out in the last 24 hours or so. CBS YouGov, Data for Progress, which is a Democratic poll, the Trafalgar Group, all of the polls show the GOP leading the generic ballot. Trafalgar actually has them up by 6. We're seeing a clear surge for the GOP, and this surge is beginning to take down blue states. Blue states are already officially going red. Take a look at the latest from Nevada. Now, this is amazing. According to the latest Trafalgar poll, Republican Adam Laxalt is surging past the Democrat Catherine Cortez Masto. He's now 4 points ahead of her. They were tied just a couple of weeks back. At the same time, the GOP gubernatorial candidate, Joe Lombardo, is leading his Democrat candidate by 3 points. And again, this is a state that has voted for the Democrat presidential candidate in 5 of the last 7 elections. This is Harry Reid's state. Harry Reid, the Democrat of Democrats. But it's not just Nevada. The Cook Political Report has just officially moved Oregon from lean Democrat to toss-up. Gang, this is Oregon. Oregon right now is moving towards the GOP. Oregon has not elected a Republican to the governor's mansion in literally decades. Republican candidate Christine Drawson is beginning to pull ahead in a 3-way race there that may see a Republican take over one of the most solid blue states in the nation. And look at this, in the liberal bastion of Washington, okay? The state of Washington, the repulsively leftist Senator Patty Murray is in danger of losing her seat to a Republican challenger, Tiffany Smiley, who's within 2 points. She's within the margin of error in the most blue of blue states. We're seeing the Democrat going down in Wisconsin as well. Their lunatic leftist incumbent governor's fighting for his life. He's behind the Republican challenger, Tim Mitchell's, who's begun to surge past this incumbent governor. And this is happening at the same time the pro-Trump Republican Senator Ron Johnson is surging past his Democratic opponent for the U.S. Senate. And we're seeing the same thing in Arizona. We're seeing it in Georgia. We're seeing it in Pennsylvania. We're seeing it in Ohio. Republican candidates have started to surge across the board. Now, of course, we can't be complacent. We all know complacency will lose this election. So we have to get out there in record numbers. Turnout is everything. The good news is that Robert Cahaly of Trafalgar is arguing that the GOP voter is going to come out in numbers we may have never seen before. The electorate, he believes, will tip decisively in favor of the GOP. It'll be a plus GOP electorate, and even more than he's predicting, because this insane policy by the Democrats to not just demonize their political opponents, but criminalize them through the weaponization of the law, that does have people scared to answer questions from pollsters because they don't trust the pollsters. So Cahaly sees a response bias even now in favor of the Democrats. And so he thinks that that response bias is going to be exposed for what it is, like we've never imagined on Election Day, when GOP voters come out en masse to bring these candidates over the top. And again, we've got to reiterate, this involves even flipping blue states red, just like what we saw in Virginia with Glenn Youngkin last year. So let's get out there and do this. Let's get out there and make this red wave into a red tsunami, and let's crush the Democrats once and for all. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You'll definitely want to check out my video I just uploaded on Democrats panicking as Patriot militias are taking over the bluest state in the nation. You're going to love this, and you're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to click on that link, and I will see you over there. God bless.